Hello, my friend. I hope you're living your most fearless life. If you're new to this channel, my name is Minnie Mac, and today we are reviewing part 2 of 3 of Dr. Joe Dispenza's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Full disclosure, this video is probably going to be about as long as the last one. I'm trying to make this as digestible as possible and just note it down as best I can. I even spent my lunch break today trying to make it even shorter. It's all really pertinent information, I feel like, and I've already, left out all of the examples he provides and all the scientific stuff he gets into. I'm trying to shorten it down as best I can, but it feels important. So bear with me on this ride. It's like a 9-hour Audible, shortened to the best of my ability. I haven't gotten to part 3. I'm taking this ride with you, so we'll see how that goes. I am excited for it because that's where you get to learn the meditation process. I've kind of grasped all of this stuff for a while. I just wanted to do a deeper dive into it, but the meditation aspect of it and a little bit on the vibrations, a little bit. That's like the golden nugget there. But you got to understand all of this first, right? You can't just jump to the end with no explanation or background. So on we go. We're on autopilot. Our learned negative emotions are part of that. And to put it simply, if we want to retrain our brains to be as positive as possible, then we have to put out as much positivity as possible, and we have to think as positively as possible. We have to do it inside our minds with just our private thoughts when we're alone, and we have to do our best to do it to everybody we greet in our external world as well, excuse me. If this is difficult for you, or sometimes proves to be difficult, one of the best things to go to is compassion. I struggle with it. I work in customer service, and every once in a while, people don't jive. Not everybody gets along. Not everybody sees eye to eye. And I slip up too, but I'm like, okay, yeah, that's another learning moment. And I take note, and I try not to get too upset with myself. I'm compassionate with myself when I recognize that I wasn't being compassionate with somebody else. It's okay. We're human. We're learning, as long as we're trying to grow and change. Be forgiving with yourself and be forgiving with others. And maybe that's not going to create gratitude and joy right away, but it's certainly going to help you get out of a negative headspace and experience less negative emotions. So once you've gotten to a neutral, empty slate, don't jump ahead of the game here right now. We just want to talk about being level and calm. Then compassion eventually comes to us. And after we can really genuinely have compassion for other human beings as often as possible, and for ourselves, please have compassion for yourself, please. It's going to make it easier for us to get to those elevated states down the line once, those negative vibes stop affecting us so much. Experiencing joy and gratitude and peace and love and happiness, all of that, it pops in more naturally and more easily. So I'm super excited for part 3 to teach us how to properly meditate. It's gonna allow us to choose our reality. So think about it this way. Think about if you're bored or daydreaming at work or whatever, and you close your eyes and you think about your partner for a second. And then you think about maybe kissing your partner or touching your partner, and you get physically aroused. Even though your partner is nowhere near you, you're not looking at a photo of them, you're purely just thinking of them, and you get aroused. If you're capable of doing that with your thoughts, then you're capable of doing so much more with your thoughts. Like, the exact same thing happens when we obsess about negative scenarios. Our bodies react, and you're going to get sick. You know what? I'm not even going to say this stuff. I'm going to leave all of that out and let you check into the book if you want, but I will just note that he talks a lot about how you can give yourself an illness with your mind and how you can also cure it with meditation. We change our brains, we change our bodies and our state of being. Most importantly, we can make these changes without having to take any physical action or having anything to do with our external environment. So when we're in a new state of being, a new personality creates a new reality. You can't think one way and expect to feel another, though. Like, that's it's what you do in here and what you do out there. It's got to line up. It's got to be all one, body, heart, mind. It's all got to be acting as a collective. To change your state of being changes your reality. If you can emotionally condition yourself through meditation to be grateful for your dream life before it physically exists, then you experience the future as if it was happening now. Be grateful for it now. And I won't get personal, but I will tell you there are things that I have thought about in my life that absolutely have not happened yet. But when I think about them, from deep down inside, not even my heart, from like the center of me, I get this like feeling of white light. There is no other way to describe it. It's white light. And it just radiates through my entire body. And it's so wonderful. And on occasion, brings me to tears. That's meditation. That's manifestation. That's experiencing the future before it exists and being grateful for it, even though you don't have it yet. You practice it, you put that energy out there. It's energy, and energy is matter. Like, matter is made of energy. It's gonna happen. This is manifestation. The only way to access the quantum field is by being in the now. You cannot fall back into your old patterns of thoughts and emotions of the past. So that learned negativity that always sticks with us, that can stick with us if we haven't learned that we should or how to shake it. And for this meditation, like, that's all in your brain. And to meditate, we got to drop out of our heads and into our hearts. We open our hearts to embody all of the traits that we desire to create our better reality for ourselves. Focus on only happiness, love, and gratitude. The frequencies you send into the quantum field will bring them to fruition. When you can readily feel gratitude or joy, you can fall in love with the future, and these elevated emotions will be able to fuel your creations. It's unfortunately, though, most of us, and even if you're on board with everything I'm saying right now, almost everybody watching this, we live in like an almost constant state of duality, where who we are in our actual inner thoughts, like who we really are to our core, our beliefs, all of that, our fears, our doubts, our values, our questions, is not who we present to the outside world. We have how we want people to see us, and that isn't who we really are. Who we really are is what we think and feel with no stimuli around. Nothing in our external environment is there doing anything with us, like I have when I'm filming for this. Absolutely nothing going on around me. This is the only thing. It's got to be the same thing with meditation. You can't let shame, anger, fear, inadequacy, obsession with our looks, all these feelings about our external selves, like this is the stuff that we work hard to hide, our insecurities. They lead to adopting and adapting to the norm. So we don't often express what we really think or how we really feel because we don't want to be excluded even further than we are in our own brains, which it really, a lot of it is in our head. We've all been branded by emotionally charged events. We keep busy to try to avoid these emotions and these thoughts, usually around your midlife crisis time. Deep down, you start to know that these emotions about the external world are going to wear off. And when they do, when you pass on and all that stuff is gone, what are you left with? Well, you're left with the energy that's inside of you, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, all of that. And that doesn't go away. That's energy. And if there are other lives, and if there aren't, regardless, your energy is going to get stuck with the same spots, a leopard that hasn't changed. And a midlife crisis is essentially people buying themselves in their external environment to escape the feelings of who they really are. A sports car is a thing, long vacation's a place, join a new club for people, plastic surgery for your body, remodel your house for your external environment. But these are all futile efforts to try to feel better or different. But emotionally, when the novelty wears off, they're still stuck feeling the same fake identity. The more they buy, do, consume, the more noticeable it becomes to them that the diversions are making them more dependent on their outside world to try to change what's going on internally. Sooner or later, we all realize that's what's going on. It's an all-consuming search for pleasure to avoid pain at all costs. And these are Dr. Joe's words, but I love them and I'm going to use them verbatim. A hedonistic life, unconsciously driven by some feeling that won't seem to go away. To maintain an ideal for others is really a strategy to make those impending feelings we've been running from never catch us. But how long can we maintain this illusory image? It really is unbelievably freeing to stop obsessing with the opinions of others and the others' lifestyles also. Like, to both ends. Stop worrying about what people are thinking about me and stop worrying about what other people are doing with their lives. If it's not affecting me in any way, it's not harming me, it's not causing anybody I know harm. It's time to wake up to the truth of who you really are. The lie is over. Be prepared for the big questions and uncomfortable changes that stem from your soul waking up. Who am I? What is my purpose in life? What is this all about? What the quantum field, my goodness, like I need more time to get into that. If you've formed a lot of relationships based on trauma experiences and complaining about life, and then you start to experience enlightenment, the people that you form those relationships with are no longer going to find you relatable necessarily. And some of them may reject you because you're not reaffirming their emotional addiction that still forms their identity. So when you start to break your energetic bonds with everyone and everything and every place familiar, it's a threatening moment for everyone who's been playing the same game for years. Some of them might even call you crazy for getting off their train, because who wants to be around the truth? But when your matter dies and all your external things you held with the highest importance are gone, what are you left with? The same shitty feeling. True happiness has nothing to do with pleasure. Real joy comes from within, not our external environment. Behind every addiction is a memorized behavior. So let's unmemorize our self-limiting emotions. Memory without emotional charge is called wisdom. Look back objectively on events. See them and who we were being. Without the filter of emotion, we can unmemorize the state and eliminate it to the best of our ability. Then we gain the freedom to live, think, act independently of the restraints and constraints of that feeling. So many of us wait for some sort of trauma or loss to occur before shifting our perspective. Why? Why did I wait? I don't want you to wait. That's why I'm doing this. But I waited. Why? Why wait until you're so uncomfortable that you're saying things like, I cannot go on like this, before you start making that change? I did it too. I'm not shaming you. I'm just reading my notes from his book. We can use this meditation and self-awareness to experience gratitude and joy now, like literally right here, right now. The second you choose to, you can have this. I promise. Use your powers of observation to unmemorize a negative emotional state and close the gap between who you are inside and who you present to the outside world. Are the walls closing in on you? Stop wasting your energy pushing those walls away and step into another room. Use that energy instead to create a new life. Liberate your body from the chains of emotional dependency. This is no longer serving my best interests. This is no longer serving me. This has never been loving to myself. Make the decision to be free. Convert your destructive energy to productive energy. What energy from past experiences in the form of limited emotions am I holding on to that reinforce my past identity and emotionally attach me to my current circumstances? Could I use this same energy and transform it into an elevated state for which to create a new and different outcome? You can. I promise. See it, understand it, release it. Intentionally dismantle your old identity and break the habit of being yourself through daily meditation. Excuse the kitty, please. You will experience so much joy and gratitude, I can't even tell you. When you make up your mind to change, you have to move to a new consciousness. You must become very clear about what you're doing, how you're thinking, how you're feeling, and how you're being, to the point that it isn't you and you don't want it to be you anymore. The shift has to reach you on a gut level. So chapter 8 does touch a little bit on meditation, and he starts off by saying that meditation for him is a synonym for self-observation and self-development. He goes on to say that if you were to think about coaches who want to improve their athletes, typically they're going to use tapes from the games to show the athletes where they could improve. And that's how we change from our old modes of operations to new ones. We have to look at what we've been doing that hasn't been working well for us and figure out what it is we do to change to do a better job at life. We have to become conscious of our subconscious self. To know thyself is to meditate. Become the consciousness that is observing the programs of the past identity. Objectify your subjective mind. What is the greatest expression of myself that I would like to be? Thinking thoughts like this every day will help you reprogram. Once you create emotion around it, you will signal your genes in new ways. This moves you ahead of time into a state of being where mind and body are together. All you have to do is remind yourself of who you no longer want to be. Then repeatedly contemplate who you do want to be, and this will reprogram your mind to fire and wire in new ways. Emotionally reconditioning your body to experience these feelings as familiar becomes second nature, and that's change. Lose your mind and create a new one. Let go of the past and create a new future. Let your memories become wisdom. So during meditation, you transcend the feelings of the body, no longer are at the mercy of the environment, and lose track of time. You forget about you as an identity. There are 2 times when the door to the subconscious mind opens: when you go to bed at night and when you wake up in the morning. So this is meditation time. This is manifestation time. By persisting with meditation and creating coherence within you, you'll not only remove a lot of the negative physical conditions that plague your body, but you can also progress towards the ideal self that you've envisioned. Well, part 2 ended up going by a little bit quicker than I thought it would, which is a good thing because we still have part 3 to get to. I hope this is reaching you on the same level it's reached me for a while now. I just needed to do a little bit deeper exploring of it, but I just want to give you the fundamentals, the things that really hit home for me and the things that I would love for you to, resonate with. Thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you for all of your love and support. I can't wait for part 3 next Sunday, where we learn how to properly put this stuff into practice, at least according to Dr. Joe. Wishing you peace, love, and light. Bye for now.